jumping. When I'm in your city, then it's jumping. I like it, I love it. You know all of my buttons. If I'm in your city, then it's jumping.
And welcome back to my channel, guys. I have missed talking to you guys. And look, guys, I promise that this channel, you know, when I started my channel, I definitely did not start my channel to be this like sit down and chit chat channel. But here lately, that's really what I've been doing a lot of, just sit down, chit chat, chatter chat, all that stuff. But that's really not how my channel is going to continue to go with this video. This is a video that I wasn't even going to do. However, I've been getting a lot of inboxes from you guys on Instagram and especially Facebook, because I have a whole lot more people following me on Facebook than I do on Instagram, especially since now I made my Instagram private and I don't accept a lot of stuff like I used to. But I get a lot of questions from you guys asking me, you know, when I did my gender reveal, about Lucky, where he is, why y'all haven't been seeing him. When I do Facebook posts, well, when I was doing a lot of Facebook posts, because I've stopped that, like why he's like not in the picture or anything when it comes to the pregnancy, if we're still married, like where's that stuff going. And y'all know I'm gonna just be honest and I'm gonna be transparent. Like I said, this wasn't a video that I was going to do, and to be completely honest with you guys, this is not a video that I thought I would ever do, because I was embarrassed to even discuss any of this stuff. But as time went by and, you know, I start thinking about things and I start talking about more things, you know, it's really nothing for me to be embarrassed about. Things happen, and at the end of the day, I know that I did not do anything wrong other than trusting Lucky to be who he said he was. When we started to date, because we've been married 5 years, when we started to date over 7 years ago, everyone knows Lucky was in Nigeria. It's not a secret. Some of you guys may not know, but everyone knows he was in Nigeria. I actually brought Lucky to the U.S. from Nigeria. I went through that whole process with him, and I brought him here. When we were dating, there were really never any issues. When I went to Nigeria multiple times, you know, there were never any issues. As soon as he stepped foot on American soil, when I tell you guys, my life has been nothing but hell since then. It's not even being dramatic. The way that I was treated by this man, a man doesn't treat his wife that way. The way that I was treated, the way that I was disrespected, the way that I was talked to, it just doesn't. A man doesn't treat his wife this way. First of all, I was cheated on our entire marriage from even before we got married. The trip that I made to Nigeria for us to get married, of course I didn't know this at the time, but I found it out. The trip that I made, he was fucking around with someone before I got there, and when I left, that continued. When he came to the U.S., he continued to talk to her, or he probably was sending her money too. I don't know if he did that, but to be honest, he was sending it somewhere, because what he was bringing in and what I could account for, it just didn't make sense. But it's just so much, guys. I just don't even this is not a conversation I ever thought I would have to have about me and my husband who I married. I never thought I would find myself in this situation. I just never did. But like I said, I was treated so poorly. These past 5 years, these last 5 years, guys, have been the worst 5 years of my adult life. I can't even. When you get married, and I'm not saying that I expect marriage to be easy. You work at it. You don't intentionally do things that you know are going to hurt your spouse, and continue to do those things over and over and over and over and over again. And that's what I was living with. When I tell y'all the cheating was so bad, this dude had the nerve to tell me pretty much that's what he's going to do, and I just better live with it. Fuck no. I'm not going to live with it. When I sit down and I really be honest with myself and I think about the time we spent together since he's been in the US, guys, I don't have I don't have happy memories. I can, you know how you should be able to pick up your phone or pick up a photo album and look through and be like, oh, this is where, me and my husband was here and we did X, Y, and Z, and this is where we were here and we did this, and we were here and we did that. I don't have that. I can't pick up my phone and flip through anything and say, this is where me and Lucky was, and this was an awesome day, and we did X, Y, and Z. I can't, I honestly can't sit here and think of any time since he's been in the US where we've had 2 days go by without it being drama, because I would want us to go do something and he would start an argument so he wouldn't have to go. And then he would go off and be wherever and I wouldn't know where he is. I can't. The memories I have are memories of him not wanting to pay his Verizon phone bill, and when the buddy came out of his account, $100 came out of his account to pay for it, he got upset. He was sitting at the kitchen table, got upset, flipped the chair over that he was sitting in and threw the chair because $100 came out of his account to pay his Verizon wireless phone bill. Or us going to go and pick the children up from school, and I won't say what the argument was about, but with me crying so bad, people in the cars in front of us and behind us and driving by as they're picking their children up, they was just stopping and looking like, oh my God, what's wrong? And him not being in a place to where he wanted to make it okay with me. He was just embarrassed because people were looking. And the type of personality he has, he wants everyone to think that he's just this chill, okay person when he's not. He really cares about people looking at him in a positive light when y'all just have no clue. Or or I don't want to talk about that. I never thought I'd be in a situation like this. I never thought that I would be married to someone who has done what he's done. Intentionally. Let me make that very clear. I never thought that I would be married to someone who has intentionally done what he's done to not only me, because I get over stuff, I'll be fine, but to my children with no care in the world. Um, and I'm gonna be honest with you guys. For a while, I was so embarrassed. I was really embarrassed because, first of all, this type of thing doesn't happen to me. With who I am and with my personality and with who I've been in my community, this doesn't happen to me. It doesn't. But this just goes to show that we all have things that we deal with and that we have to work our way out of, and that no one is better than the next person, and that we all just have to figure out how to deal with things and cope with life and make the best of a situation and move on. Some of you have found him on his social media, and some of you are saying things like, you can't even look at his social media and tell that y'all were ever married and that a relationship between you guys ever existed. And no, you can't. At the end of the day, I'm gonna just be honest, that's not something that Lucky wanted. This is not a video. I don't want this to turn into a video that's going to bash him, because that's not what I want to do. I married this man because I loved him, and I believe that we would be married forever. I went into my marriage with good intentions. I went into my marriage in love with my husband. I went into my marriage and I meant it. When I got married, I meant it for real. I meant it to last. I didn't mean it for me to get into a marriage and be so disrespected the way that I have been, and to be treated the way that I've been treated. It's just so much that I can say that I'm just not going to, but I'm going to answer the questions that I keep getting asked as honestly as I can. I just had enough. I couldn't take it anymore. That's it. I just had enough. I couldn't take it anymore. I couldn't take the disrespect anymore. I couldn't take the lying anymore. I couldn't take the being cheated on anymore. I was over it. I was over it. And I just couldn't deal with it anymore. I had become someone that I didn't recognize when I looked in the mirror. And I was done with that. I was done with that. I couldn't do it anymore. I could not continue to look into my children's faces, especially my daughters, and continue to let him treat me the way he was treating me. I just couldn't do it. I couldn't tell Cam, this is how you treat a woman, and this is what you do, and this is what you don't do if I'm with a man who I'm allowing to do certain things to me. The whole time we were married, I was cheated on the whole time. The whole time. And to be honest, he never even apologized. And not that would have made it better, but he never even apologized for it. Since he has been in the U.S., guys, it's been so bad. It's been, the only memories I have are negative and bad memories. Memories like him kicking doors in and pulling doors off the hinges and flipping chairs over and throwing things and getting up in my face. I mean, he's never hit me, but he's gotten pretty close to it. I don't have no positive. I don't have any positive, and I was tired of lying about it. And I was tired of pretending like I was okay when I wasn't okay. Um, and that's just where it is. I was tired of pretending like I was okay when I wasn't okay. But then when I look at it, I don't know what I expected, because when I start finding out things about Lucky and who he really is, um, my perspective on so many things just changed. I really can tell you that I had to reprocess every single conversation that I had with him, or every important conversation, a conversation that should have been important, because he's lied to me about so many things. About so many things. And Lucky never wanted to be married to me. He never wanted to be a father to my children. Lucky wanted out of the slums that he was living in Nigeria. That's what he wanted. That's what he wanted. And I was his ticket to do that. And he didn't care about what he was doing, what it would mean for me or for my children. You know, it's funny that all of his friends that are here, most of them, I really didn't know until after we separated in September of last year. You know, I would ask some things about his friends, you know, their wife names, blah, 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 blah. He would lie to me. He didn't know things, you know, that I knew he knew, because he had no intention on this being long term. His thing was, let me just wait, you know, until I get all of my green card stuff together, and then I can go and do what I want to do. And I know these things because he had friends that he was telling these things to, and it got to a point to where two of these guys, you know, they just called me out of the blue one day, and they were like, and I don't even, to be honest, I never even gave them, and they're still in Nigeria, I never even gave them my phone number. I don't know if, well, when he first came here, he didn't have a phone. So that's probably how they got it. But I know I've never talked to them other than when I was in Nigeria. But they just called me and they said that there are some things that just aren't sitting right with us. And, you know, we feel bad about some stuff, and we just want to call you and talk about it. And they asked me if it was okay for us to do a video call, either on Facebook Messenger or on WhatsApp. So we end up doing a video call, and they sent me some stuff, and it was just, you know, I just couldn't believe it. I just couldn't believe it. He planned on using me just to get here. He told these guys that, you know, as long as I make her love me more than I love her, I can do anything I want to do to her. I can do anything. I can say anything. I mean, he was sending them pictures of women he was fucking. Like, it was guys, it was so much. It was just so much. And there were so many. And, you know, it came down to him. He has his brother Solomon and one of their other friends. They all discussed and had a plan to get out of Nigeria. Solomon scammed a woman and went to Australia. His other friend Dapple scammed a woman and went to Texas. And you know the funny thing about it? They made sure... No! they made sure, 1 second please, they made sure that we never had a place to where we really got to know each other, like me and Dapo's wife, or Solomon and the woman who helped him. When we really connected, it was when all three of us were separated from them, and we began to speak to each other and just put so many pieces together. Like, they really did this. They came up with this plan and they did this. Like the things that they were saying, because Lucky, he was good at making me believe certain things. So he was telling me things about Dapo's wife and the girl Solomon was. I thought this girl had kicked Solomon out the house and had him sleeping in his car, and I was so upset with her and just not wanting to talk to her. And then some things that, you know, he was saying about Dapo's wife not making me want to talk to her, that I'm not gonna repeat here because it was just terrible. And when we got to really discuss, it was like they were each telling the same lie to their significant other verbatim about the other, to make us not want to communicate with each other or not talk to each other. Or when we were on the phone, the only thing we would say, if he was video calling with his brother, the only thing I would say to her was hello. Or if he was video calling with Dapo, the only thing I would say to Dapo's wife was hello. It wasn't like I want to get to know her, no conversation, very standoffish. And they would be the same way with me because of the things that they were saying. I mean, when I tell you that they had these lies down to a T, it was like I can't even, guys. It's so much I can't even, you know. And then with my children, Nadia was the most, you know, attached to Lucky, so it was, you know, it was hard for her. And then I didn't want to take like all communication away from her with dealing with him, but it's come to a point to where she's just done with herself, because she would say, Mommy, I looked at Lucky's Facebook, or I looked at his Instagram, and she would have to tell me, because I've been blocked him on social media. I've been done with that. And he's gone and he's at this place. And Mommy, I think that's funny, because when he was here with us, he told us that he didn't like that place, and he never would go there and do that with us. Or, you know, he liked Red Lobster. He said, oh, you know, she told me, oh, Mommy, he's there with a lady, because I can hear her talking in the background. But he told us he didn't like Red Lobster. You remember, Mommy, when Jayla wanted to go to Red Lobster for her birthday, and when Mommy was here talking about his mommy, she called his mommy as well. And we tried to get him to come, and he just had this whole big attitude. He don't want to go there. He don't know what he can eat there. He don't like restaurants like that. But Mommy, he's going out on a date with the lady there. Mommy, that's strange. Or Mommy, it was something that she told me about, something she saw on his social media, and I was like, yeah, that's fine, baby, that's okay. Because it got to a point to where she would just be talking, and I would be like, to let her get things off her chest. But it was just like straight over my head. I was already over. But, oh, Mommy, I saw he's doing this on social media, on his Instagram. And Mommy, didn't you ask him to go there before with you, and he wouldn't go? But he's there with somebody else. And Mommy, he's there with the lady, because I hear him talking to her, and it sounds like the same lady who was in the last video. And it's just like, you know, one day she just said, Mommy, Lucky's a scammer. You should have left him where he was in Nigeria. You should have left him there to face his life instead of bringing him here. He doesn't love you, Mommy. He never did. This is my 9-year-old. My 9-year-old. It was a conversation that he had since he's been gone from here with Jayla and Nadia on the phone. And Jayla, you know, she was, you know, they called him on Nadia's phone. And Jayla told me, she said, Mommy, I just picked up my phone and I just began to record the conversation, because he was so comfortable with talking to your children so bad about you, mommy, and I just couldn't believe it, and I didn't want to lie or miss anything that he said, so I recorded it so I can hear it myself. And for me to hear some of the things that he said to my girls, I just couldn't believe it. Like, he took like no accountability for what he's done. None. You came here, scammed your way into the US. It's just so much stuff I'm just not going to get into, guys. And I'm sorry if this video is choppy and confusing, but this is just something that I just never thought that I would have to explain. But y'all know I'm transparent, and that's just the only way I can be. But it's just, and even conversations he's had with my neighbors, saying things to them, because it's like he wants people to be upset with me or have this perception of me so they won't talk to me, so they won't know the truth. Like some of his friends that he has who lives in Charlotte, some things he was saying to them, and some of them reached out to me, and it was this guy that I never even met before, but I know they were friends because I saw him on a picture Lucky took. And I mean, and just saying things, and it got to the point to where they were telling me some of the things he was saying, and I said, repeat that back and listen to what you're saying. And they would just start laughing and be like, yeah, that sounds like bullshit. I couldn't believe I believed it when he said it. It's just trying to tear my entire reputation apart so people won't talk to me and get the truth and understand what really happened. Because look at it like this. Anyone who has ever brought someone in the country from another country knows that it's a process. It takes a while. It's not cheap. Why would I go through that entire process? I'm paying for it, because when Lucky came into the U.S., he had nothing but the shit he had on his back and a couple of pair of underwear that was too small. That's all he had. Why would I go through that whole process, pay all of that money to get him here, and then do the bullshit he telling people that I did? Why would I marry him, bring him into my children's lives, if I didn't believe that it was going to be a lifetime and that it was going to work out, if I was doing all these bullshit things that he's telling people? And that's just some of the things that I just had to explain to people, because he it's just, I had just had enough, and I could no longer live my life that way. When I look back and I look at relationships that I've witnessed in my family, not between my parents, because by the time that I can remember what their relationship was like, they were already divorced, but they still talked and they still co-parented because of me. And my father was an excellent, I won't say stepfather, I would say he was an excellent father to my sister Mela and my brother Cameron. He was an excellent father to them, because their fathers didn't step up and do anything. And my father communicated well with my mother because of us. So I didn't see negativity between my parents. I only saw the positive. But I saw negativity between my mother and other boyfriends. And I can tell you honestly that has had an impact on some of the things that I accepted in my relationship. You know, those generational things, guys, is you know, you can look back at something and you can be like, I knew that was wrong and I shouldn't have accepted it. But when you're in a situation, it's difficult to get to a point to where you can pull yourself up out of that. And it just got to that point to where I was saying, you know, enough is enough. I'm stopping this generation of shit here, because I be damned if my kids are going to continue in this. And I was just done. I was just done. I was just done. I was just done with being used and lied to and cheated on and emotionally abused. I was just done with that. I was just done. And I just can't do it anymore. And it's bad that you find yourself happier without your husband than you are with them. You find yourself smiling more. You find yourself at peace. You find yourself going home and wanting to be home and just loving life. And, you know, you get married to share that with someone. But I didn't have a life partner, y'all. I didn't have one. I didn't have one. And everything he did it intentionally. He did and said things to me to hurt me intentionally. And you know what? I can't even, because I've worked through things myself. I have a mental health background. I worked in mental health for years. All of, like, a majority of my friends, even though we act like ignorant fools, but all of them, for the most part, are licensed clinicians. So, you know, I've had times where I had to call them and just talk through shit and get past the point of being ashamed and embarrassed. Because I can honestly tell y'all, I have absolutely no ill will whatsoever in my heart for Lucky. I actually feel sorry for him. Because if someone can do all of the wrong and the evil that he's done, taking no accountability for it, and still can walk around and smile and feel like nothing is wrong, there's something seriously going on with their mental health. It is. That there's no way that a healthy person can do what he's done and be okay. With who I am, when I know I've done something wrong to somebody, my conscience kills me, and I have to call them. And whether or not they accept it, I have to do what I know I'm supposed to do to make it right. But guys, in this situation, I didn't do anything. And I had to realize that. And it's hard for you not to question every decision that you've made. But I know in this situation, I didn't do one thing wrong other than trusting Lucky at his word and believing that he was actually who he presented himself to be. That's it. And then the fact that he surrounds himself with enablers, his entire family, they're all enablers. They knew, like his mother. And that's a relationship that really hurt me to have to move on from, because I don't have my mother. I don't have any of my grandmothers. They're all deceased. So it hurt me to have to move on from that relationship. But if you're talking to me and you got to talk to me in secret, I love you, but please don't tell Lucky that I've talked to you. He told me that if I talk to you, he'll never talk to me again. Because he was lying to her, telling her all these things. And then when I was telling her the truth, she was like, I don't know why he's lying to me. First of all, you're the parent. You're the parent. I would never in my life allow... I'm sorry, guys. My camera cut off. But you're the parent. And I would never in my life allow my children to tell me I can't talk to someone and go with what their bullshit is. If they do something wrong, they're gonna know. And I just and it's not an African parent thing. I know so many other African parents, and I have so many other African friends, and I know their parents. And as soon as they do something that's not right, their parents don't accept that shit. My mother, I could never tell my mama or my father, if you talk to this person, I'ma never talk to you again. They would have told, first of all, my mother probably would have punched me in my damn face. Like, who the fuck you talking to? You know, but I just think it's funny. And when she used to be here and see how he treated me, because she witnessed her son kicking the door in and pulling the whole damn thing off the hinges, the bedroom door, and getting up in my face like he wanted to hit me because he was cheating. And I told her what he had done. And she knew. And then when he go to work, how she would come in my room and lay in my bed with me and talk to me all night and tell me certain things, and then would tell me not to tell him. And then when we knew it was time for him to get off work and come home, she would go back into the room that she slept in. You know, and it was hard for me to cut that relationship off because I loved her. However, I'm gonna tell you guys, I love myself more, and I had to pull myself away from that, because you're not going to talk to me in secret and condone something that you know is bullshit, and then you're gonna tell me just look over it. And I'm not looking over shit. I'm not gonna do that. But guys, I was just tired of being treated the way I was treated. I was just tired, and I couldn't take it anymore. And then to have, you know, some of his friends tell me, and one of the funny things is he's mad at his friend Dapo and stopped talking to him because he thought Dapo was the one telling me everything when Dapo ain't tell me anything. They're not even talking, and Dapo was still loyal to this dude, and he shouldn't be, because he knows he's not loyal to him, and has never been loyal to him. But I don't know, guys. I don't know. But I was just tired. I couldn't do it anymore. I choose me. And I choose my happiness. And I choose my children. And I couldn't do it. I could no longer be his fool. I could no longer be treated the way that he was treating me. I just couldn't. I just couldn't. And I'm happy with the decision that I made. So that's why you don't see him. And that's why you're not going to see him. And I hope that he finds what he's chasing. And I hope that it was worth everything that he's done to my children and I hope it was. But I can tell you that I'm at peace, and I feel amazing. And I found what's for me. I can say that. And I am happy with what I found. And guys, but you know, It's just, you have to do what's best for you and your sanity and your mental health, and that's it. And being with Lucky just wasn't, it just wasn't, it just wasn't. It wasn't. And then, you know, he knows that anything to do with immigration and him, that I'm not putting my signature on anything else. And then I had one of his friends call me and tell me that he told them that he was going to go and take a restraining order out on me, saying that I had that I was like threatening him or being violent or something. And when I hadn't, I've never never and that said something else to me. And that also let me know that I made the right decision, because in every field that I've worked in, I've always had a professional license. And having a criminal background is not, you know, I can't have a criminal background and maintain my license. And he know that. And he would do that knowing that he's lying just to protect himself so he can remain in the U.S., because he knows that I'm not doing anything else with him when it comes to immigration. So he would go and lie and do that, not caring what that would mean for Camion, Jayla, Nadia, or these twins. And you know that says something when they're his babies. And he would go and do that. Even though he's telling everybody that they belong to his friend Dapo, the other little scammer. And I don't mean to laugh, but the only time I've seen Dapo in person, and Dapo has lived in Texas almost 4 or 5 years now. The only time I've seen Dapo in person was when I went to Nigeria one time, and because I didn't see him every time I went to Nigeria. I saw Dapo in person on one of my trips to Nigeria in 2015. That was the only time I seen Dapo in person. So, if I seen him in 2015, I must be having damn elephants, because don't elephants stay pregnant that long? How long elephants stay pregnant? But that just, it just tickled me. It just tickled me. I've never even seen this dude in person since he's been in the U.S. And I just said, you know, the lies people tell, but you know you can't run from DNA. So he can say whatever he wants to say. It's y'all, it's crazy. I've dealt with so much that I'm just over it. And I'm just not gonna do it anymore. And then if the situation with him wasn't enough, guys, you know that it's bad when you grow up and someone helps raise you. The whole time they hate you, because and it's not even me trying to sound like I'm better than nobody, because I don't think I'm better than anyone. I'm very humble. Those of you who really know me personally, you know I'm very humble. I don't act like I'm better than nobody. I do anything I can for people, and I have a humble spirit, and I raise my kids to be that way. But for someone to help raise you and be jealous of your life and hate you is some man, it's a different type of betrayal. It is. And y'all, I love my older sister. And I always will. But it's a different type of betrayal when I can look back and I can honestly say, even as children, because she's older than me, but I've never in life have I done anything that would hurt my sister. I've done things that could have hurt me career-wise, helping her, but never in life, like talking bad about her, listening to anyone talk shit about her. Like, no, we never. And the betrayal that came from her way, that's why I tell people when people talk about 2020 and you know how bad it was for them, yes, 2020 was not the best year, but I'm thankful for 2020 because 2020 really showed me a lot about who really had my back. And the two people that I thought was my ride or die and who I can always count on and who I would love and be there for forever, my damn older sister and my husband, proved not to be. They proved to be my two biggest enemies and my two biggest roadblocks. They proved to be that. They did. And it's so much that I can say. So much. But when people are jealous of you from when you are a child because of who your father is and what he has and what he provides you with in your life, and they don't know who their father is, because she was an adult when she found out who her father was. If he's even a father, he was some old little drug head or crackhead. But guys, it's just, I can't, it's when people show you who they are, what Maya Angelou said, believe them the first time. And it took me several times, but I damn sure believe them the first time. And for me to be able to walk away from a relationship with my sister and my husband in the same year, I'm telling you, and not look back, whew, guys, I'm telling you, it's just so much that I can say that I won't. But I can tell you one thing. I've always been real and I've always been loyal. I've never done anything to neither one of them. Never. And I can't even say intentionally, or I think I never have. I can tell you for damn sure that I've never done anything to now one of them that was going to hurt them or put them in a fucked up situation. But they can't tell you the same. Never. Never. If someone could have told me that my sister would have stabbed me in the back the way that she did, I mean, I didn't even go to my brother's wedding following up behind her lies. And at the time I didn't realize, and of course that caused an issue between me and my brother. I love my brother, but I didn't even go to my brother's wedding following up behind my sister's lies and her bullshit. And I love my brother, and I love my brother's wife. They've been together for a long time. I don't know what the hell took him so long to marry her, but she's awesome, and she is what my brother needed. So And even me saying that, I would tell my sister how much I love my brother's wife, and she would always have something negative to say. And I would say, well, I'm not going to say anything negative about her. She would even talk negative about my brother's sons. And I'm like, and that really put a light bulb on in my head. Because if you can tell me negative shit about your nephews on that side, first of all, you don't really have a relationship with them because we're not close like we should be. You don't know nothing about them. Why are you talking negative about them? So if you can be that way with them, you can definitely be that way with my children. But I didn't go to my brother's wedding fooling around with my sister's lies and bullshit. And I know that hurt my brother. I know it did. And that's just something that we have to work on. But I tell y'all, if those stabs in the back, they don't, oof, they don't hurt as bad until you turn around and see who has the knife in their hand. I can tell you that. I can tell you that. I can tell you that. And one thing about my sister, if she's not happy, she doesn't want to see anyone else happy. When I tell you that when I'm talking to her about things with me and Lucky, and I'm because I mean, she's my older sister, and I'm thinking I can talk to you and get advice, and it's like the only thing she wanted to do was, well, you should do this. No, Mella, I'm not going to do that. That's going to cause a bigger issue. And then to know that she had a role to play in some bullshit too. But I can't put anything on her when it comes to me and him. Can't put nothing on her. Because he did what he did. So guys, I'm telling you, that betrayal, that betrayal hits real when you see who it's coming from. But I hope I answered y'all questions, and if I didn't, I'm sorry, but I won't address any of this again. This is the best that I can do with the questions that you guys asked. Thank you guys so much for watching. I love you guys, and I'll see you guys in my next video.